Hey everyone, this is Erica Wood from the Hopkins County Extension Office, and I'm back with another video. And so I'm actually inside today, inside our office, because we are in excessive heat advisory this whole week. So we're going to try to refrain from being outside and try to stay cool indoors. And actually it's good timing because I just finished talking about tropicals in my tropical lunch and learn class, and since I have some of the plants here, I thought I'd make a video to share with you about one of my favorite tropicals to speak of, and that's the one that's actually beside me. That is the Canna Lily. And so with Canna Lilies, they are members of the Cannaceae family. They are kind of what we consider a tender perennial here in our region of Kentucky. Usually they are hardy in zones 7 through 10. We kind of are right about there out here in West Kentucky, between like a 7 to 6B range. And what we found with Canna Lilies is that they can survive our winters here for the most part, but there are steps you'll want to take to try to protect them. So we'll go over that in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about the Canna Lilies and their characteristics. So Canna Lilies are rhizomatous plants. They spread through rhizomes, and especially in a landscape setting, they can spread quite a bit in a landscape. So even though when you're buying a plant, you might be buying a container that only has like 2 or 3 plants in it, you know, you will want to allow them plenty of room to grow, because over the years that you have them, they will spread, and they'll spread more in a container too. But what a lot of people love about them is definitely the tropical vibes that they give. They have these very big, broad, paddle-shaped leaves. And the leaves can be, you know, a pretty rich medium green color, but then we have a lot of cultivars that are actually on the market that have kind of more of these maroon purple leaves, some that have variegated leaves that have like stripes of like green and yellow, and so they can be quite pretty just with their foliage alone. But of course, the main reason why people probably love Canna Lilies is because of the flowers they produce. And so the one I have right here is just kind of finishing its blooming cycle, but it does have a few new flowering stalks starting to pop up. So I'll just kind of insert some pictures of some other cannas I have that are blooming here in Madisonville. But with cannas, their blooms really come in all sorts of color ranges, a lot of warm tones. So things like your yellows and orange and red. We have some that kind of have more of a salmon peachy color. And we even have some that kind of have almost like a bicolor or a little bit speckling within those flowers too. So there's so many different varieties that you can get out there. Now with Canna Lilies, also depending on the cultivar that you get, their height is going to range a little bit from probably generally 3 to 6 feet. There are some that can get taller than that, but there are a few like more compact varieties that are out there. When it comes to where to place them in your garden bed, you know, these can tolerate full sun to partial shade, just within that general area. Well-drained soil. Whenever the plant finishes blooming, it will give way to these really cool green seed pods. And while they're green, you know, if you're going to use it for seed collection, you'll want to leave the green seed pods on there. Wait till they really brown up, almost blacken in color and are completely dry. And if you go to get those seed pods and you cut them off, if you open up the dried seed pod, you should see these little black, almost pea-sized seeds. And so you can actually propagate your cannas not just through division but through seed propagation as well. thing to be mindful though with seed propagation is, you know, depending on whether it's a hybrid, you know, what kind of cultivar it is, you know, whatever the seed is may not be true to the parent plant that you have. So just kind of be mindful of that. You may get a different looking plant that germinates from those seeds. And also germination may require soaking those seeds or doing some kind of scarification technique. But of course, if you have questions about that, you can just call our extension office. For the most part, these are pretty easygoing plants, not a whole lot of issues. There is a virus that can affect Canna lilies to be mindful of. As for pests, my main issue, and unfortunately it's happened on this plant, is Japanese beetles, and just love to eat them up. So, you know, just kind of be mindful of that when it comes to pest control for your cannas. But they can recover and bring back some new growth. But really, other than that, like I said, these are kind of considered a tender perennial. So, you know, if you have them in your garden bed out here in Western Kentucky, just give it a good layer of mulch, like a few inches, like maybe between 2 to 4 inches of mulch to cover it up and insulate the root systems for next year. As long as we have kind of a more mild to moderate winter, you should see these pop back up. It's very rare if we get some like extreme temperatures that there might be some that don't come back up in the spring. But if you want to be careful, you can dig these up at the end of the season, and you can overwinter their rhizomes. What you do is you cut back whatever foliage is left, dig up the rhizomes, and then you can place those rhizomes in like a bag that's full of like dry peat, and then just kind of keep that in kind of a cool, dry place, but not too cold. Like, don't let it get below probably 45, 50 degrees. And you can then replant those rhizomes in the spring after our last frost. So, you know, you can kind of keep your cannas alive one of those two ways. But again, this is a really great, easygoing plant, really great tropical feel, and just produces just luscious flowers for you. So I think that'll about do it. If y'all have any other questions, just call the extension office, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.